A couple of things. Let me get to world history. I'll change it to student view so it looks like yours. All right, so a couple of things. Just general navigation. All of you should have submitted all of these things here. I have not, just because every time I go to a different class, I need to make sure that is done right. But you should have down in your to-do list, unit number 1, test, 30 points. And that should be available to you. And you should be able to see that. Now, a couple of things. One, an update on the homepage. So on the homepage, if you notice, last week I added this TCI button. And so if you click on that, it'll bring up your TCI sign-in page. Remember to use my email address as a teacher email. You're going to have to put that in every time unless you've saved it. But a couple of people asked about that. So it's jgrock@smjuhec.org. Second thing, if you noticed yesterday, I updated the homepage with another button starting next Tuesday, the 15th, from 3:30 to 5:30, every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday that we have school, I imagine except for the week of finals, there is free online tutoring. So there's tutoring in your core classes as well as some electives, with the focus of that being on your world languages, your Spanish, your French, things that you might be taking. All right, so that's an update on the homepage. Second thing, and I went over this last week a little bit, but some people are still emailing asking how come I cannot get into a specific module. So remember, from the very beginning, as I've said, what we've done is take each week and what you have to do and put it into a module. So week 1 is in a module, week 2 is in a module, week 3 is in a module, this week is in a module. Before you can go on to another module, you have to finish the one before. So before you can go to module 2, you have to finish module 1. Before you can go to 3, you have to finish 1 and 2. Before you can go to this week's, you have to finish 1, 2, and 3. And so if you're getting that error message about module being locked, that's why. You haven't completed the module before. And so just remember, it's as easy as going in, following, right, the to-do list, and then clicking through on next, right? So first week, August 17th, we went through the Go Formative sign-up process. Then we went how to get into Edmentum. Once you did that, your assignment was individual logins. You're supposed to send me a screenshot of that or download the Plato orientation. Once you do that, you'll notice it takes you to the next module. So if a module's locked for you, that is going to be why. All right. Most popular question was, what is the difference between a due date and a available until date? So a couple of things. If you look here in this category, these are overdue assignments. This one was due 21st, this one was due the 24th, this one was due yesterday, this one was due yesterday. So when you look at that, all right, when you look at that, the due date is the date that it is going to appear and start costing you points in Aries. All right, so the due date is the date that it will appear in Aries. It'll appear as a graded assignment. If you haven't turned anything in, it will be 0 out of 10, 0 out of 20, 0 out of 40, whatever the points possible was. Now, the available date, so available until the 11th, available till the 11th, available to the 11th, available to the 11th, is how long you have to do it and turn it in for full credit. So even though it's counting against you, right, in Aries, if you haven't done it, you can still do it by the available date, and that will go in as if you had turned it in on time. So a couple of reasons for this. One, right, we've had a number of different issues. 3 or 4 people, their tablet went down, they had to turn it in this past week. The week before, we had the storm with the rain and the lightning strikes that knocked out some of the cable providers in this area. So there's been a number of different things going on logistically that have stopped people from submitting. All right. So that is why you have that upcoming assignment. As I said, that's this week. It's going to be due by next Tuesday at 3:15. It'll be available until the following Friday at 3:15. So that test and the review will go over so you'll know what you're doing. Past assignments are ones that are not overdue yet. And so if you look at these past assignments, as I said, ignore these two. That was just a test of the grade connecting with Canvas and Aries. But you had your classwork, the map of ancient Greece, right? That was due yesterday. And I thought that I had opened up that, but I'll open that back up just in case you haven't submitted. And then the themes of history on TCI. That is still available until Friday at 3:15. Any questions on that? Okay. So let me open that up because I thought that was still available. So the map's still available if you hadn't done it yet. You can clear it and get that out. All right. So double check. We still have no Josh Reynolds with us, right? Josh isn't here yet? Okay. All right. So a couple of things. Let's get to our three big ideas from last week. So first thing we went over was ancient Greece. Ancient Greece, remember we talked about the importance of ancient Greece in these three areas, right? Greece creates standards of government and human rights that we see in the United States now. This idea of democracy, one person, one vote. Three branches of government, the separation of powers is how we refer to it as. So you have the legislative branch, which you'll see in many of our state governments as well as the federal government, with the upper house being the Senate, the lower house being the House of Representatives. The judicial branch of government that checks both the legislative and the executive branch to make sure what they're doing is legal is the Supreme Court. Many states also have a Supreme Court. And then the executive branch is the President of the United States. Vice President also is in the executive branch, but that is similar to what you would see with states in terms of governors and lieutenant governors would be the comparable branch or office. So that is what we get from Greece. What we get from Rome is this idea that laws should be written and the idea of a representative government. So Rome creates these standards that we have in our country, the standards of a republic, right? A representative government. We are going to vote for a president in November. We're going to vote for a House of Representatives in November. And depending upon the 6-year cycle, we could also be voting for a US Senator. But these are people that go to Washington and make decisions for us. Rome also gave us the idea that you are a citizen of a state. You're not the subject of a ruler. The same principles that the founding fathers of this country talked about in relation to why they did not want to be part of England anymore under the control of King George III. Rome gave us the tradition of a standard written legal code. laws can't be applied equally. People can't be treated fairly unless laws are written out ahead of time and the punishments are just and reasonable. That's what we got from Rome. And then the last thing that we talked about was the growth of monotheistic religions in this time period. And that is important because these religions basically put an onus on people to look within. The responsibility of their saving is on them. And they reinforce the ideas of this natural law, right? You are born with these God-given rights, the democratic way of thinking. So all three of these religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, right, stress the importance of it's up to you, right, as part of a bigger community to combat oppression, evil, encourage the worth of the individual. Everyone is equal before God, right? There shouldn't be different estates. There shouldn't be different social classes. We're all humans. And that's what these ideas of these monotheistic religions support. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay. So lastly, in your Canvas page, and let me bring this up for you. If you look in Module 4, and I'll bring that up. Let me get to the student view. All right, so if you get to Module 4, obviously you have to do 1, 2, and 3 before 4 will be open. You can see here, we're gonna play the review game together. You're gonna be able to practice the review game so you're confident on the material. And then you'll be able to take the test anytime between now and September 14th at 3:15, which is next Tuesday. So in the chat room, I'm going to send you this internet address, and I'll send you the game code for you to be able to join this review game. So you can open that in a separate tab. Besides the Zoom that you have open. So I'm going to send this to you in the chat room as well. Right. So if you go to kahoot.it, it's going to ask you for a game pin. Put in the numbers 534-0212. Type in an appropriate name, and then we can play the review game together. There's 30 questions on your first test. I think the review game is 25. So 25 of the 30 questions that you'll have will be on there. Got 2 more to sign up, then we'll start. Alex, are you signing up? Nope, there's Brandon. I think we're just missing Alex. All right, there he is. All right, we're ready. Okay, so 25 questions on the review, 30 on your test. I think every one of these questions is in some way, shape, or form on your test. So if you want to take notes, as I said, you'll be able to come back to this later in the week, use them many times as you want, but here we go. All right, which Greek leader created 4 levels of citizenship? Solon. Solon is the one that created 4 levels of citizenship in Greece. Which Greek questions students to think? Socrates, right? The Socratic method. Starts a direct democracy. Pericles. Pericles starts a direct democracy. Remember, direct democracy is every person gets 1 vote on every specific item, right, that is up for debate. All right, who writes the Republic? And if you've been paying attention, it's the only one left. Plato, right? Plato's the one that writes the Republic on how government should be organized and that there should be checks and balances on different parts of government so that no one becomes too strong. Cleisthenes created the Council of 500. Is that true or false?
Are we supposed to know these?
Yeah,
Motion.
They're in the notes in Canvas, and we went over them together. It's true. Cleisthenes created the Council of 500. Don't forget, all of this stuff is still open. So if you go back to the third module, right, you got ancient Greece here. That was the video that we showed you the first couple of minutes there about Greek society, right? But all of the items are here in your notes. And then when we get to the questions on Rome, all of those are still available to you there. All right, ancient Rome had what type of government? Republic, right? Ancient Rome had a republic. At the very beginning, if you want to describe it as an oligarchy, that's why there's two correct answers. Remember, it was controlled by, remember we talked about Rome had a really, really mean king and they wanted to get rid of them. So that goes all the way back to the very beginning. All right, the highest social class in ancient Rome was what? The Patricians. The Patricians were the highest social class in ancient Rome. All right, the lowest social class in ancient Rome was what? All right. The plebeians. Plebeians were the lowest social class in ancient Rome. Remember, slaves weren't considered citizens. A lot of you put slaves on that. Slaves weren't considered citizens of ancient Rome. Written laws in ancient Rome were called what? 12 tablets, right? 12 tablets posted at the entrance, all the entrances of ancient Rome. Basically, these are the laws that everyone is going to be held to. All right, who in Rome had protection with written laws? All free citizens, right? All free citizens in Rome had the protection of written laws. Only group that didn't, obviously, were the slaves. And Sarah with 4 in a row. All right, Islam's prophet was who? All right, Islam's prophet was Muhammad. Christianity's prophet was? Okay, Christianity's prophet was Jesus Christ. Judaism believes that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. True or false? All right, so they believe that Jesus will come to earth one day, but they don't believe that the Jesus Christ Christians talk about was the Son of God. Which of the following was the first monotheistic religion? Judaism. Judaism is the oldest of the three. Sarah moves into first place. Christianity's holy book is known as what? Christianity's holy book is known as the Bible. Judaism's holy book is known as what? Torah, right? What the Christians consider the Old Testament. That got some movement. Isaiah up to 2. Grace, streak of 3. Islam's holy book. The Quran. Ruled by one and usually passed on to a family member. What type of government is that? Monarchy. Ruled by many or a specific class. Oligarchy. Oh, new later, Isaiah, all the way to the top. Ruled by one using fear. Tyranny. Ava with a streak of 10. Ruled by the people. Democracy. Maybe with 11 in a row. Ruled by elected representatives as a republic. Is that true or false? That's true. Sarah up to first. You hear it break the top five. City state number 7 on this map is what? That one is Athens. City state number 10. Okay. Athens' biggest rival is Sparta. That was city-state number 10 on the list. Here's your last one. All right, the C represented by number 12 is what? Okay, so a couple things to go over. Created, right? 4 levels of citizenship with Solon. That's in your notes. Judaism believes that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. They do, but they don't believe that he came yet. So I maybe could have worded that better. Ruled by many or a specific class is oligarchy, right? And then starts a direct democracy. Only 25%, 26 of you have got that right. That's Pericles. Pericles is the one that starts a direct democracy. And then city-state number 7 is Athens, right there on the Mediterranean coast. All right. So last thing we need to do is show you how to log into your test. And that will be rather easy. It's a 2-step process with your student number and your network password. So let me show you how that will work. If you go to Module 4, the first thing that you want to see is that your review game, what we just did, is available to you until September 14th. So it's absolutely available to you to go over as many times as you want. A number of those questions are going to be on your exam. But let me show you how it works. Okay, so if you go to Module 4 will have the overview. It will then have the links. If you're on a mobile device or your tablet, you need to download this mobile app and then click on this link after you do that to put in this game pin, and you can practice as many times as you want. If you already have the app, or if you're on a desktop computer, click on this, put in the game pin, and you can practice this, as I said, numerous times before you take the test. Also, right, Module 3, and we've been over this, right? Module 3 has your notes over the monotheistic religions, the forms of government, ancient Greece, ancient Rome, right? So all of those notes are there. So when you get to Module 4, as I said, we have the link to get the mobile app if you're on a tablet or a phone. If you're on a desktop, you can click on this and use your pin, game pin. You can play that as many times as you want. Once you're comfortable and ready to take the test, as I alluded to last week, your test will lock if you open any other tabs, minimize your tab, or open another tab after you access the test. So when you sit down, you want to make sure that you have enough time to do it. Your username is going to be your 6-digit ID number. Your password is going to be your network password. So you'll click on this link, and this is what will open. You'll put in your 6-digit student number here. Let me get the password. You'll put your password in there. You'll sign in. From there, you should have a couple of boxes. You'll take the assessment. Under the assessments, it should say World History Test number 1. When you open that up, you'll see the questions here on the left-hand side and the answer sheet over here. Okay. And so you'll fill in the correct answer. Once you're done, you'll click Done. And it'll say, actually, you got some incomplete items. Are you sure you don't want to go back and review those? Or submit for testing. But as I said, the most important part is once you open this up, you need to do it in one sitting. If you open anything else, if you exit out of this, it's going to give you a 0, or it will just stop scoring wherever you're at. Any questions for me on